But, of course, the major story here in New York this morning is you've got our two winners in the primary. No surprise on the left, Kathy Hochul, the governor right now. I think the only surprise, really, is that Tom Suozzi, you remember Tom Suozzi, came on the show, told me and Bernie that Ron DeSantis' parental act down in Florida made sense. He wouldn't want his kids being taught sex by some, earringed, blue-haired teacher either. And then after 2 or 3 days, when his donors started to call and Democrats called him out in local publications, he went back on it and said, what I said to Sid and Bernie was inartful. Needless to say, I had a cell phone conversation with Suozzi, and I told him, you better, I mean this, folks, I said, you better come on tomorrow and clear this up. And he said, and I quote, I can't tomorrow, I'm on with Len Berman. that was it for me. I love Len Berman. He's a super guy. But that may be the worst radio show in the history of radio. And they don't even... What are you, nuts? Thank you, Mike. And they don't even compare to us in the... I mean, come on. I got to be on with Len Berman. So I cut the cord that day. I have not spoken to Tom Suozzi since. I beat the hell out of him on the air with John Catsimatidis the next morning. Bernie came back. He beat him up, too. But here's Suozzi, big talking Tom Suozzi. The only surprise yesterday was he came in third. Tom Suozzi couldn't even beat Jumaane Williams. And look, Jumane's a courageous guy. He's a smart guy. Not easy to do what he does. He does suffer from Tourette's in a big way. So I've got respect for Jumaane. But if you can't beat Jumaane Williams, you have to hang it up. That's it. I mean, thank you for it's been a nice career. He's won a couple of times out on Long Island, but this guy's a joke. And to me, that was the biggest surprise of both primaries because the right side went the way I thought it would, even though Zeldin beat Andrew more handily than I thought he would. But I really didn't know. I knew that Astorino and Harry Wilson would come behind Zeldin and Giuliani, and that was the case. So it was Kathy Hochul commanding over 500,000 votes. When you get ready for the big race in November, just remember this, that Kathy Hochul got over 500,000 votes in New York yesterday. Low turnout, over 500,000 votes. And when you add up Zeldin, Giuliani, and Astorino, the top three finishers on the right, they combined for less than 370,000. So when you talk about the uphill battle of a Republican winning in this state, there it is right there. Hochul beat the three of them by over 130,000 votes. That's a lot. Again, she just absolutely destroyed Williams and Suozzi. No surprise. She will be the Democrat candidate come November for governor here in the state of New York. And here she was, reveling in her victory, this louse, Kathy Hochul.
It has been the highest honor of my life to serve as your governor for the past 10 months. And what a 10 months it's been. Right from the start, our kids were heading back to school as you're seeing an increase, a surge in Delta. And on top of it, hurricanes immediately struck and people lost their lives and their homes. And the cost of living kept going up and up and up. Workers, small businesses, and families were dealing with excruciating stress and financial challenges. And the crime and violence that has taken so many lives. And most shockingly, my own hometown of Buffalo, New York, where we lost some of my neighbors. It's hard to still comprehend that. As well as the day-to-day victims of gun violence in our streets and cities all across this state. Yet we faced all those challenges.
Failed.
And you know what? We persevered.
No, you didn't.
And we prevailed.
No.
You know why?
Failed.
Because we're New Yorkers, right, and we get things done.
I mean, you're such a... shut up. Enough. I mean, stop it. You didn't prevail. You failed, which is nice because it rhymes, Crime is worse than ever. Worse than ever. People are dying every day. Yes, in your hometown of Buffalo, as well as Rochester and Syracuse and Binghamton and New York City. Where did you prevail? Where is New York doing better exactly? You won yesterday because the other two were just absolutely ridiculous candidates. I mean, let's be honest. Again, without being too disrespectful, Tom Suozzi and Jumaane Williams, I mean, come on. But where did you prevail exactly? People are leaving this city and this state like it's on fire. So there's Kathy Hochul beating her chest when, in fact, she's been, in about 10 months, not just a lousy governor, but one of the most corrupt If you think about the fact that Kathy Hochul has been in power for less than a year, that whole nonsense with her husband and the Buffalo Bills stadium, that wasn't very nice, wasn't very pretty. That's still going on, by the way, costing taxpayers money. Then, of course, you've got the other nonsense, fixing her office. One of her donors actually doing that. That's more corruption. And then on top of all of it, her lieutenant governor, Benjamin, that guy, he gets arrested. So in less than a year, there have been more scandals and more corruption in and around Kathy Hochul, on top of the fact that she's gotten nothing done. Now, she did try to reform some of the bail. And we know, of course, that Andrea Stewart Cousins and Carl Heastie want nothing to do with that. But she's been a dismal failure. She did win yesterday, and she'll be favored to win in November, because I don't think Lee Zeldin is the strongest candidate ever. And I also know that in this state, as I just pointed out, for every Republican, you've got 3 Democrats. So just based on the numbers, she's probably going to win. That is not a reflection of the politician she is. She sucks. Here's Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado after the win yesterday. He won too.
We have to combat the forces of hate and division by meeting people where they are, not with a top-down politics, but with a bottom-up approach, where our strength is our unity. This requires listening before you speak. It means genuinely engaging with communities all across the state. And it means leading from the heart with love. As Dr. King would say, a strong and demanding love. New York has always led the country in moments like these, from establishing a woman's right to choose, to ensuring women have the right to vote, to founding the NAACP, to recognizing gay marriage, to being at the front lines of the environmental movement and the labor movement, to be in the epicenter of multiculturalism, of what it means to be multi-religious, multi-ethnic, tolerant, and accepting of all difference. This is New York. New York has always been ahead of the national curve, setting the pace. And now more than ever, we need New York to not only set the pace, but to hold the line.
Yeah, I know. Right now, Lou Rufino is holding a banana to his head as if it were a gun. Antonio Delgado at 6:11 in the morning. I appreciate the enthusiasm. It's great. I mean, seriously, do us all a favor, okay? Take the win, act like you've been there, and walk off the stage. So
it's
there
deplorable.
it is.
Get him out.
Well, thank you, Christopher Druso. So there's your 1-2 punch on the left side, Kathy Hochul and Antonio Delgado. Now, on the right side, of course, I started off by endorsing Lee Zeldin. I stuck with Lee Zeldin for a long time, and only about 10 days ago, I guess, as Bernie pointed out yesterday, the night that Andrew Giuliani went for dinner with me and my gorgeous wife, Danielle, to Michael's restaurant in Brooklyn, and we sat there for about 2.5 hours and talked about strategies and politics and watched the Ranger game. That was it. On that night, I decided I'm going with Andrew, and the last 2 weeks, we've gotten very, very close. Personally, I joined him on 129th Street on Saturday during his campaigning, and I really liked what the kid had to say. Now, Bernie brought up a good point yesterday. Sid, if you guys didn't get close personally, would you still have done this? And the truth is, I don't know. I'm being honest, I don't know. So when you combine the fact that, yes, we got close personally, and B, I love the Giulianis. I love his father. I love the way they deal with the police and all the issues. He was right on it. And of all the candidates, Giuliani spent the least time in the mudslinging during those 3 debates, and I found that to be really welcoming. I mean, it took Lee Zeldin all of 30 seconds in that very first debate to describe Harry Wilson as a never-Trumper, and about 2 minutes before he used the term Rolex Rob. So, and the other 2 guys, Astorino and Wilson, they duly fought back, and it got ugly at times and, quite frankly, annoying. So I was in the Giuliani camp. He did not win. He came in second, but it wasn't really close. He lost by about 20 points. In fact, as Macedonian Phil pointed out this morning, when you add up all the votes that my guy, Andrew Giuliani, and Bernie's guy, Rob Astorino, got, they still amount to less than what Lee Zeldin got. That's an easy win. Zeldin won by about 20 points. Again, you add up all the votes, and Giuliani and Astorino combined, forget about Harry Wilson, combined did not get what Lee Zeldin got. So, Say what you want about Lee Zeldin. He's a rhino. He's an establishment guy. All the lousy things people say about him. He's the winner. And he won in very impressive fashion. And here he is, the pride of Shirley, Long Island, war hero Lee Zeldin after the win late last night.
As our state's next lieutenant governor says, this isn't just a red wave. This is a common sense wave. It's a common sense wave that reaches out to everybody across this state, in all counties, in all regions. We're reaching out to all of you to work with us to save New York. This is a rescue mission to save our state, and losing is not an option.
And let me be very, very clear about this, because me and Bernie were very clear, even when we decided to go with Giuliani and Astorino respectively. We did say, I don't know, 1 million times, 1 million, whoever wins will get our enthusiastic endorsement. That's how important this gubernatorial race is. That's how important it is we elect a Republican governor. It's been a long time, right? Got to go back to Governor Pataki during the great Rudy Giuliani days. That's how important all this is. So, yeah, we may have liked other guys. We've always liked Lee Zeldin. You're not going to hear once during this month of conversation me and or Bernie malign Lee Zeldin. Wilson did that. Astorino did that. Giuliani did very little of that. We never did. We kept saying, hey, listen, we like Lee, but. Here's what Giuliani had to say. Here's what Rob had to say. So it wasn't like me and Bernie savaged Lee Zeldin on this show. We never did. And we said time and time again, whoever wins will enthusiastically get our endorsement come November. And we mean that. So right now, it's all about Lee Zeldin on Bernie and Sid. It ain't Giuliani. It ain't Astorino. It's all about Lee Zeldin. And guess who feels the same exact way? Andrew Giuliani. Now, he did endorse Lee Zeldin later on in the night, but here was Andrew's concession speech late last night.
New York truly is at a crossroads, ladies and gentlemen. We're at a time right now where we lead the country in outmigration. We know that. We all know the problems, and we know the solutions. We need somebody with the guts that's going to be able to turn that around. Somebody who's going to be able to bring crime down. Somebody that's going to give Alvin Bragg that pink slip that he needs on day one of his administration.
I guess that someone he was referring to, that's a terrible job and a terrible cut. But I guess that's someone he's referring to. Who cut that, Justin?
I got that from, I actually stole that from the overnight show.
Yeah, it sucks. He doesn't even mention Zeldin's name. But he's talking about Zeldin there. You know, while we're on the gubernatorial race, he did endorse Lee Zeldin straight up last night. Hopefully this cut is better. This would be cut number 16, Lewis. Andrew Giuliani endorsing Lee Zeldin. Cut number 16, Lou.
This was a spirited race, and I want to first and foremost congratulate my three competitors. And I would like to really urge everybody in this room to get behind the next governor of the state of New York, Lee Zeldin.
So there you have it. Andrew Giuliani doing exactly what me and Bernie do, what I'm doing this morning, what Bernie will do whenever he gets back, and that is endorse the Republican candidate, and that is, of course, Lee Zeldin.